This is Calvin Peete, one of the most successful African Americans to ever play the game. He won the Players' Championship and was a member of multiple Ryder Cup teams. But his defining on-course achievement was becoming perhaps the most accurate ball striker in golf's history. No golfer in the history of the men's game hit more fairways more often than Calvin Peete, and he did it with a homegrown golf swing born from the most modest of upbringings. It's a golf swing which may look peculiar to the rest of us, but take a closer look and you might just understand how he became such an accuracy machine. Okay, let's break it down. It's hard to overstate just how accurate Calvin Peete was from tee to green. Peete led the PGA Tour in driving accuracy in 1981 and then repeated that feat in 1982. He did the same thing in 1983 and then led the tour in 1984, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89 and 1990, averaging nearly 82% of fairways. To put that in context, that's better than Lionel Messi's penalty success rate over his career. It's a higher percentage than the NFL's single-season pass completion record, and it's better than Michael Jordan's free throw percentage during his 1998 MVP season. Over a decade, Calvin Peete hit more fairways than Roger Federer won tennis matches in his career. Calvin Peete also finished inside the top 2 in greens in regulation on tour in 5 of those years. And if you're wondering how many balls he hit out of bounds over the course of his entire career, the answer is quite simple. In over 1,200 competitive rounds on the PGA Tour, Calvin Peete hit just 1 golf ball out of bounds. It's no wonder Lee Trevino's nickname for him was Xerox.
We call him Xerox. Everything is a copy. He hits that ball so straight.
To better understand Calvin Peete's golf swing, you must first understand where he came from. Peete was one of 18 children growing up, and he spent most of his youth on a farm in Florida. He didn't take up golf until he was 23 years old. When he was a child, he once fell out of a tree and badly broke his left arm and elbow. Without the money to see a doctor, Pete's arm healed incorrectly, which is why, until his dying day, he was never able to fully straighten his left arm. This became the defining quality of Calvin Peete's golf swing, and in many ways, its greatest asset. While other players create speed and power by stretching and lifting their arms up and away from their body, Peete's perpetually bent left arm meant he simply couldn't do that. The limited mobility in Peete's left arm meant his only option was to keep his left arm tethered really closely to his body throughout his entire golf swing. This, interestingly, is actually the trait of another legendary ball striker, Ben Hogan. He considered it hugely important to his own golf swing. Because the arms and the body remained so closely connected throughout the swing, it meant that as Peete rotated through on the downswing, his arms and body turned through in one singular motion, similar to how a figure skater pulls their arms close to their body when they begin to spin really fast. But what he'd lost in power, Peete more than made up for in accuracy, as he told Golf Digest in 1982. In a way, the crooked left arm does me some good, he said. It naturally stays close to my side on the downswing and through the ball. This helps me swing the club down on an inside path, and my left arm folds naturally after I've hit the ball. The final ingredient to Peete's legendary accuracy, in his own words, was his ball position.
The ball position is very important in driving, making sure that you maintain good ball position, consistent ball position, where the bottom of the arc meets the ball every time in the same place. Very important. If I move my ball position around, then I move the bottom of the arc around. I don't want to move the ball position. You may get away with moving the ball position on iron, to hit it high, to hit it low, to hook it or to draw it, but with the driver, you really only want to hit one shot, and that's a straight shot.
The reason why this is so important, as Peete says, is because the bottom of golf swings work like an arc. They go from high to low to high again. If the ball position moved around, it meant Peete would hit the ball slightly differently every single time, which would rob him of the consistency he needed and later perfected. Peete's goal was to hit the ball slightly on the upswing with each drive, which meant placing the ball slightly inside his left heel. That's why he was so focused on making sure the ball was in the same spot every single time. The end result was a man who discovered on his own what worked for him. He rose from nothing to become one of the greatest black golfers to ever play the game, and one of the best ball strikers of his generation.